Yeah. Good. Okay. I'd like to acknowledge that we and our guests are on Treaty 3 territory, home to Wabigoon Lake, Ojibwe Nation, as well as many other communities, including the Métis Nation. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples have made both in shaping and strengthening our communities and province and our country as a whole. I'd like to welcome everyone online and in the audience. Call this regular meeting of council to order at 6. Approval of the agenda.
That council for the corporation of the township of Ignace, this 13th day of April 2026, approve the agenda as
Presented. Need a mover, please? Councillor Manier, seconder, Councillor DeFeo, all in favor? Carried. Declaration of disqualifying interest pecuniary.
8.2.
8.2.
8.2.6.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes of most recent meeting.
that council for the corporation of the township of Ignace, this 13th day of April 2026, approves the minutes of March 9, 2026 regular meeting of council, March 19, 2026 special meeting of council, and March 26, 2026 special meeting of council as presented.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Litt, a seconder? Councillor Manier? Questions? Yes, Councillor Tanya.
Actually, I got two questions.
Okay.
First one is, I don't think Miss Councillor DeFeo was at that meeting. Were you at that meeting, March 9th?
Yeah, she was for one portion of it, I believe.
I need to review the minutes, that could be the one that I was not there.
But you dialed in for half, and I can't remember that meeting, and then the in-camera, another in-camera portion,
No,
did not.
the whole meeting.
That was the meeting that you weren't there,
Okay.
which is showing that she was there, but she wasn't there.
She was
recorded
online.
both, yeah.
She was online. Is that when you went on holidays?
She was in the report.
Oh,
Regular meeting of council.
for a good point, Councillor Tanya?
No. March 9th, and yeah, there's motions by her and she's in the report both.
Yeah, that was the last regular meeting, I was there,
When you were there?
yeah, it was the meeting,
Okay.
regular
And
meeting
then
before.
8.23, Councillor Talbot requested additional information, including clarification regarding Councillor Mayor's comments about a code of conduct. I don't see that in your clarification on. So,
You requested that be taken out or that be changed to code of conduct?
no, I requested the.
No, you requested it to be put in.
Yeah.
To be put in.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
those would be reflected on the regular meeting minutes
So,
from the one.
From the one before.
yeah, so through the mayor, it would be recorded in the minutes as it occurred. It shouldn't have actually, like, it's not really prudent to the actual business, but we including the context of the request. But it would be, so you requested, additional information on the minute. So we recorded as the events occurred.
Okay, so my next question is, just for clarification purposes. These meetings are all recorded, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So when we approve these meetings,
Mm-hmm.
can we approve a link to that too?
They're posted.
But they weren't posted are they all posted? now?
Once they get approved tonight, tomorrow
No, but
morning.
are they all approved and posted now? Because I noticed, there was meetings that weren't posted.
Not since I've been there.
Maybe there's
As soon as they're
Are you
approved, the
talking
next
about the
morning,
videos?
I upload them.
The
Yes.
videos or the minutes?
The videos.
Oh, sorry, John.
Yeah.
I meant the minutes.
There's a bit of a delay.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a couple of months, you're delayed, 2 delays. Anyways, I just wondering if that could be added.
We're adding them now, right?
Through the mayor, each process takes me about 3 to 4 hours to render those videos to be put online. And the time constraints does not allow me to stay on it every day, but I get to it as I have free time to populate them, and I'm working backwards to get all the previous recordings that we do have online. So it does take some time, unfortunately.
Yeah, just to further what, we recognize that there's a constraint here, because what it does is it eats up all the memory of his computer, slows it down, he can't use it, so he has to find other things to do. So what we're thinking about doing is finding another separate computer where all this rendering, work can be done, apart from what he's doing normally, and then that way, we can. And there won't, yeah, so he can still get stuff.
Yeah,
that he needs.
I just think it's useful to have that part of the minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I thought you meant the minutes posted.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, that's good, that's all I wanted. I'm sorry, Jody, I got confused on that thing.
It was the one before
Before, yeah.
April.
Yeah, that's good.
We're good? Okay,
We need
thank
a
you.
vote yet.
Oh, we got first and second, okay,
Yeah.
all in favor to approve those minutes? Carried. Council direction from previous minutes, the parking lot, I think you printed one because it's bigger.
That was my question,
Yeah.
and it's for Aaron, I think.
Parking lot, Aaron.
Yes.
You know that new system
Yes,
that we're supposed to be getting?
Yeah.
That should be on the parking lot?
it should
It
be,
is, I think.
it should be,
Trees and the food.
yeah,
Number 20.
Phases of.
Okay, that's what that is. Okay. So it's gonna be any minute.
so it's gonna be, because we missed the so any minute
What, it
To
says
start.
complete.
to start, like, we're gonna start, because there, we have to do, we're retooling the general ledger codes. And once that gets done, then that will start phasing in, because there's an online portal for our, so really, when we're talking about going live, all systems, which probably gonna be a switch over December 31st. So we don't have, we tried to do this last year, we got caught up. So we're gonna start real soon getting the GL codes. Leslie here is taking the lead on this. We're gonna work with her and our accounting firm, so we've already determined which codes are just dead codes that never get used, which ones do we need to include. And so we're already working at this internally, and then what we have to do is we submit, say, an Excel spreadsheet to Central Square, and then they actually they set up a like online system with all their GL codes, right? And then once they have that, they're gonna set up a sandbox
To learn.
So we go in, so we'll take some time, maybe a Friday or whatever, where somebody will just start, entering invoices in there, fake invoices. So they can actually get a feel and use for how that is, but
Training.
and training. So, and we'll also get training because there's an online portal, as I've mentioned previously.
Right.
That will probably be able to go live like halfway through the year. Cause it doesn't necessarily need that overlap in terms of,
And what's the name of this program?
Vatum by Central Square.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Any other?
If you like, we can include, quarterly reports on its progress.
Yeah,
just to
there
make-
should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll include that in our reports.
Okay, thank you.
Other time?
No, good.
No, you're good. Okay, moving on, no delegations, legislative matters, consent agenda.
That the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace does hereby approve the consent agenda for this regular meeting of council this 13th day of April 2026, and all directions and recommendations or motions included here.
Need a mover, please? Counselor Deville and Counselor Meyer. All in favor of the consent agenda?
We've got
I'm pulling, yes. I'm pulling, 7.2.4. 7.2.10 and 7.2.11. Would anyone else like to pull? 7.2.6. Okay. Anyone else? No. For discussion? No? Okay, 7.2.4, I just think we need to support this one, brings the property assessment. I think it's been long enough that, they haven't reassessed properties since 2016. And, I don't know how, yes,
They provided the draft resolution.
yes,
Does council want to bring that back for approval at the next meeting, worded specifically?
for evening.
Okay.
How does council feel? Yeah? Okay. So, sorry, yes,
Okay, we're asking for a reassessment, right?
for them to unfreeze that, because they haven't done it since 2016.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask for to unfreeze, so they can go around and reassess everybody.
Yeah, but I think it's for, like, everyone is going to do that across the board.
That's fine.
Yeah,
So what I'm trying to get at is, before we do this, are we gonna be looking at how much money we bring in from taxes to this community, correct?
Yes.
Right? We're gonna look at that, like, say, let's just use $100,000. We collect $100,000 of tax dollars from the residents of this community.
Yes.
Right? When they reassess, right? When they reassess us, are we still gonna be collecting that same $100,000 and drop the mill rate? Oh, is that the plan?
Well,
I,
yeah,
yeah,
it would be plus the 2% for inflation year over year would be my plan, but yeah, essentially it would be the same amount.
So we're gonna have to make sure that we visit that at the same time, right?
yes. Yeah, I remember us talking about that before, Councillor Tyler, when you bringing that, forward. That we can reassess that if the values are way too high.
We wanna collect the same amount of tax dollars, is that
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Divided by the total value of the properties to do calculate the mill rate.
Mm,
Just as an update to that, so I attended a MPAC, they're having several modules, I think the next one's tomorrow.
mhm.
One of the questions that I asked during that module was, when are you guys planning on doing this? And they identified that they're doing an internal review of their systems. And until they do that internal review and determine whether they need to make any changes to their internal review process or systems, that freeze will remain in place. So I don't know how or when long that will be. Could be a couple more years potentially, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Councillor,
Did I read something about, is this only an Ontario thing? Or is it because I think I read, I don't know where, that the other provinces have been assessed.
I think.
I think MPAC is only Ontario.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just-
good clarification.
Okay, we're good. Okay, 7.2.6, Fish and Wildlife Policy Branch. Councillor Defield.
I would like, attached to our, website, the request for input on the proposed changes to make sure that the impacted community members on the proposed changes have a voice.
Council in agreement with that? Yep, okay. Thank you. 7.2.10, City of Pickering. I think Ignace, just my feeling, that Ignace, have its own resolution to forward for protection of Canada's children. Not sure how everyone else feels about that.
Or
No,
we'll bring that forward at the next meeting, then
Okay.
reword it.
okay. 7.2.11, Canada Post rates for libraries. I think we should support this as well.
I
Would you like
believe
to
that-
speak on that?
It's been corrected.
Oh, okay,
So, at the last library board meeting.
Yeah.
I know that they, said that their rates will be unchanged.
oh, that's awesome.
Yes, so
Great.
they can continue service as per.
Okay, great, thank you.
No action.
No, okay. Administrative matters.
We need a vote then, yes.
Oh, all in favor of all the consent agenda? Carried. Administrative matters. 8.1.1, Fire Department monthly report. Very quiet month for February. Any questions? Or- Oh, Councilor DeVille, sorry.
No, I'll bring it another time.
Okay. Nothing more? 8.1.2, Fire Department monthly report for March. Question?
In one of the reports, it says they got a new washing machine for the.
Yeah, same.
What happened to the old washing machine?
Through the mayor. So it is available. They've asked Public Works to handle it. We're considering potentially bringing it to the arena to assist with, washing some of the things like tablecloths or any of the, the dish cloths or.
Where would they put it?
Don't know yet, maybe in the back, but we'll figure it out. Which might make it accessible also to, like, say, the fitness center who's been using private. So just make it available. It's a used piece of machinery anyways. And then any additional cost for washing, we probably include in rental fees. So.
Okay. Councilor Tadio.
Just a question. Do you think we want to use that for washing dishcloths after we're using it at the fire department? Aren't you worried about contamination or anything like that?
We can look into that.
I think we should look
Yeah.
into that first before we, because that's where they wash their equipment, correct?
Where it's going to go.
Yeah, their bunker suits.
Yeah.
I think we should look into that before we use it for washing tablecloths.
Yeah. I can inquire on how often those will actually see soot from a fire.
Well, it would be, highway spills and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, I'm hopeful. It could be cleaned, it has been cleaned, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will look into that.
Okay.
Can't see somebody who's sick.
Okay, 8.1.3, Winterfest 2026. Questions?
Okay.
This one, yes.
Thank you for, making available all the activities throughout, some difficult months to get through and over the darkest days. So thank you to the rec committee for providing those opportunities.
Okay, 8.1.4, CAO quarterly report. Questions for that?
There's a lot of acronyms in this
Oh,
report.
yeah. Sorry, and I'm internet cut out, so.
So if we're gonna use a lot of acronyms, then a legend to be able to better understand the report, would be
Sure.
appreciated.
Which acronym are you referring to?
TBTE.
Oh, so that's actually okay, so Thunder Bay Testing Engineering.
I don't know.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
don't know, yeah.
IFT.
I thought.
Issue for tender.
Yeah.
So it actually says issue for tender report.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought IFT was something different after that, that's okay. And then I think I was good on there, all the other ones, but the TBTE, I was looking online all over the place for what that could possibly mean.
My apologies.
Anything else? Counselor,
The township streetlights.
Hmm.
Gets a little bit confusing, because in the parking lot, under number 2, it says waiting behind it.
Yes.
But this looks like it's been all done.
So the bane of my existence.
I know.
They, even though we're trying to move away from as much as we can from them, they still have to turn the power on and power off, which requires what do they call it again? Layout. So there's a layout. So then we have to apply specifically for layout. Right, and then that takes, I don't know, months, and then they send a contract. Some of them are easy, some of them could be easier. So in terms of Agamak Creek lighting, is that done? Is it?
The signed agreements with Hydro One to hook up lighting Agamak River walking path
Yeah,
and
to
mobile.
hook up,
home park.
to hook up, should be.
To hook up.
Yeah, I don't know if it has been completed, I haven't.
No,
Yeah.
it's not done yet.
No,
Yeah, so we're still waiting, and literally, like, we've brought like all the wires, everything's there, it's just a matter of like bringing their lift and actually doing the hookup, and then any internal work that they have to do. Like, the cost of it is like $500 to do, which is nothing for them to do, it's just really mostly, but I mean, this is why we've moved away from them.
Sure, yeah. And when it says signed agreement, so there's no time given?
No. I mean, even on their agreements, when they said that they would take 10 days, business days to, 10 days to sign, to do the work. There were some lights that we found took 2 years to replace, right? So that's why we moved away from, them.
So we're kind of stuck.
Yeah, we're at their disposal.
yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
I just could.
Oh, Counselor Tadio, sorry.
Yeah, I thought once before, months, meetings ago, that we were gonna look into changing the name of the new subdivision.
So, yes, so that's part of the negotiating part of, so where we are at that is that we have a draft that we sent to Bruno Silvio. And he's read it, and then he's made some comments, which I have to now review. But part of that process was we discussed with him that he could change and should change the name of the subdivision and potentially all the names of the streets. So we'll
So
have.
is that gonna be a council decision to do that, or Bruno's decision to do?
Well, it would be part of it would be part of council. So he's gonna have to submit a grading plan that's gonna have all that information. And that will come back to council for council's approval, if I'm not mistaken.
I just wanted to.
Yeah.
It's been,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
it was a bad year.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation, and we've actually, and when we have another meeting with Bruno's, we'll reiterate that our desire is not to keep that name.
That's it. Moving on, 8.2 reports from departments and or correspondence which require council approval. 8.2.1 Ignace Public Library Leadership Update.
That council for the Township of Ignace thanks Sue Gagne for her years of service to Ignace Public Library and welcomes Chelsea Barker as the new CEO librarian. And that should say effective, April 26th.
Need a mover, please? Counselor Tadio, seconder, Counselor DPO. All in favor? Thank you. 8.2.2 resignations from Ignace Library Board.
That council for the Township of Ignace accepts the resignations from the Ignace Public Library Board from Mayor Kimberly Bakery effective March 11, 2026, and from Reverend Timothy Barker effective April 25th, 2026. And that council for the Township of Ignace appoints a council member to be named to the Board of Ignace Public Library as a trustee effective immediately for the balance of the municipal council term, which ends November 14, 2026. And that the clerk shall issue a public notice to advertise one vacancy on the Ignace Public Library Board as per section 11 of the Public Libraries Act by posting the vacancy on the township website, bulletin boards, and Facebook page in the intent of the act as a newspaper of general circulation in the municipality no longer exists. And that the clerk shall present the applications for council consideration and appointment of a new library board member to fill the vacancy at the next regular meeting of council as per section 12 of the Public Libraries Act.
Want to mover and second first? And then we discuss who's going to go on. Okay, mover, Counselor Manier, seconder. Counselor then. Who would like to put their name forward?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Counselor Tadio? Is that okay with the council? Yeah, great. Thank you. And
Me and you
we
again.
need to advertise then.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
We need to vote.
Oh, everyone in favor for that? Carried, thank you. Okay, 8.2.3 bursaries and awards for 2026 Ignace School graduates.
That council for the Township of Ignace approves the disbursement of student bursaries to Ignace School graduating students of 2026 as follows. $1,000 for university and college students, $500 for trades and apprentices, and $100 for each workplace graduate. And that $6,500 will be budgeted for these awards from the Early Investment in Education and Skills, EIES, Youth Training Fund established through the NWMO agreement.
Mover, please. Counselor DPO, seconder, Counselor Manier, all in favor? Carried.
Conversation.
Okay, yes.
It was brought to my attention with very short notice of council representative to hand out the bursaries and scholarships. Perhaps we could have this on our agenda early so that we could make the arrangements to be present during the graduation. This is not a small amount, and I'd like to congratulate all the graduates by any one of us representing at the high school graduation.
Okay. Any further discussion? Thank you. Good. 8.2.4, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 168 Ignace.
That the council for the corporation of the Township of Ignace this 13th day of April 2026 accepts the request for the Ignace Royal Canadian Legion Branch 168, and that council directs the administration to purchase a board sponsorship package in the amount of $300.
Mover, please. Counselor Net, seconder. Counselor Tadio. Discussion? Yes, Counselor Tadio.
I don't have a problem giving them the $300. We gave them $30,000 here just a couple months back. Month, 6 months.
It's been a long
It's
time.
been a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
Did we ever get any updates
Bill?
on, pictures, where the money was spent or anything like that?
Yeah, through the mayor. I believe that they only just recently completed it. And we will reach out to make sure that they provide us an update.
I'd like to see an update before.
Yes.
Through the mayor, I could provide a little bit of update. I was able to go through the bottom half of the Legion not too long ago, and I've seen the updates, the new chairs, the new flooring, and repairs to the bathrooms. They're looking pretty spiffy down there right now. Tell me a little bit of work, but it feels
We
good.
want to see, yeah, Counselor Tadio.
And thank you for that, but I think council as a whole, that we approve that money, we should have something in,
No, exactly, and through the mayor, I just wanted to let council know that that's what they've done so far, but we should have pictures and something to see
Did you have a question, Counselor?
Just a comment, there should be probably a plaque or something like that created for instances like that, so
That's
they can put a plaque up in there. No, it was just suggested, but I don't know if it ever really stuck.
We have the stickers for.
The stickers are not gonna kind of, no, there should be a nice plaque that they can put up and say that, thanks to the Township of Ignace and the funding that was used. So we could probably present that to her.
Any other questions? Yes?
Should we include that in maybe a motion to include X many dollars to provide them plaque for them to put up, or?
I think it's a bigger conversation for the whole fund.
Yeah.
Of we need plaques, we need stickers, we need, acknowledgements and things like that.
I'll break from this.
Yeah.
Counselor Deacon?
With council approval, perhaps either a representative from council or staff could attend the next Legion meeting to express or open up that conversation for that transparency of the renovations done and the plaque to be put up.
Yeah. I think we're gonna, bring this up at our community engagement. And I think we should handle it through that. I don't know if we wanna go to every meeting and.
No, go attend one meeting.
I might, but for us, for everyone, it should be consistent with what I'm saying, right? So the plaque could be given to them and please, with a letter, please hang this at, in your Legion someplace to have this acknowledged, but it all has to be posted.
Okay. Counselor Tadio?
I just wanna, I think we all decided a few months ago that we were gonna have some kind of bulletin board or whatever, where all the money was spent and keep track of it and put it up someplace that, we donated $30,000 to the Legion. We donated, $40,000 to the youth. We donated $30,000 or $20,000 to the skiing, I know we're gonna do something like that, so people know where the money was spent and,
Fine, clean answer, it's coming in the website update.
okay.
Sorry, can we have it also put outside in the bulletin board thing too?
That's a good idea. Okay. Basically, we have to-
We need to vote on the $300.
Okay, so everyone in favor of the $300? Carry. Okay, 8.2.5, Manitoba Northwest Ontario Command with the Royal Canadian Legion 17th Annual Military Service Recognition Book. We do this every year, correct? Yeah.
That council for the corporation of the Township of Ignace received a request for support from the Royal Canadian Legion Manitoba Northwest Ontario, and further that the council instructs the administration this 13th day of April 2026 to acquire an advertisement of a specified size of blank for the total amount of blank.
So what does council wanna,
We normally do not.
do we have to, council in agreement to that?
Yeah.
I need a mover, please. Counselor Let, Signer, Counselor Defield.
So it's half a page, the amount of 600.
All in favor of that? Carried.
Councilor Let and Councilor Tevio.
Yes.
Thank you.
8.2.7, 2026. Oh, sorry. 8.2.6, community wellbeing fund application, Four Seasons Quilters, Kids Can Sew project.
You want to read?
Yes, no?
That council for the Township of Ignace approves a grant of up to $6,000 from the Community Wellbeing Fund to Four Seasons Quilters to purchase an additional 6 sewing machines, accessories, tools, storage containers, and notions for the Kids Can Sew project.
Need a mover, please. Counselor Tavion, and a seconder, Counselor Let. Questions?
Same thing, I don't have a problem giving them the money, I think we already give it once to these people before. And did we ever get any recommendation, doing this, what you were, just, here's what you understand? Did we get?
They did, and it's in the latest newsletter too, that they submitted a write-up and a thank you and a photo as well.
So all in favor of? Carried. Thank you. Okay, now 8.2.7, 2026 White Otter Days budget.
That council for the township of Ignace approves the proposed budget for White Otter Days 2026 in the amount of $25,000 as presented to be funded through township contributions as well as sponsorships.
Mover, please. Counselor Ramir, seconder. Counselor Vizio. Questions?
What budget line should come out of?
Recreation with White Otter Days. And there's specific lines for White Otter Days and hockey and baseball, so we can separate.
And a question for you, Leslie.
Yes.
You've applied for the NOHSC
Yes.
funding.
I did.
Have you got a response?
We are being considered for NOHSC event funding for this. The application that I put in, NOHSC won't fund any of the giveaways, so the jerseys or the hats, they won't. But they called me on Thursday or Friday last week and asked if there were any other expenses, and I said, council approved the purchase of the event tent, so we don't have to rent one. Is that something that would qualify? And they wrote it in, so now we're waiting to hear potentially that could
Yeah.
a portion of that might be included in the funding. So it's only 15 to 30% max. So we'll see what we give, but any contribution is welcome. And then there's sponsorships as well, that our rec program at Isabel has already lined up.
Any, Counselor Patty?
The only thing I'd like to see is, and she did a great job here, but the only thing I'd like to see is what the projections are for the revenue that we're gonna be collecting, because we're not really giving up the $25,000. We're kind of advancing the money, but we also get, tuition back for, for fees and, and everything else during the weekend and during their events. So it's not really costing $25,000. It's that we're forwarding $25,000, or we're hoping that we're gonna make it all back through the events, right? So
I think,
Sale of tickets and
stuff like that, so maybe that should be included, what the projections are, what we're gonna be getting back.
I think we've got 3,000 or 5,000 so far for sponsorships.
Yeah, so we're down to 20,000 already, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus the hockey teams and the baseball teams are gonna be putting in money and stuff like that.
And there's,
So, sorry, and so it's not really costing us $25,000, so you should try to have the true figure there, you know what I mean? To figure it out.
Counselor Vizio?
and there's some things in here that could be covered under community wellbeing fund, like the fireworks. I think we've done that out of the community wellbeing fund in the past, and so then that keeps bringing that
Price down.
price down.
Mhm.
So this was lovely, love this spreadsheet, love that it was printed and very
Yeah,
large.
yeah.
Plus sorry about the fireworks,
Yeah.
did we apply for the
Grant,
grant for fireworks? Yeah, there's
we
a,
need to find that out
yeah, because
because
we usually get
time goes
$5,000
by.
$5,000 a year for that from the government.
Okay,
We need
I need a vote. Are we all in favor? Carried. 8.2.8, minor baseball.
that council endorses reestablishing minor baseball as a community recreation initiative and approves funding in the amount of approximately $3,000 from the Community Wellbeing Fund to support the costs associated with minor baseball. And that council approves the installation of 2 portable toilets at baseball diamond for up to 18 weeks at a cost of $300 per week plus taxes, for a total of approximately $6,100 from the Community Wellbeing Fund.
I need a mover, please. Counselor Lynn, Counselor Tadio, second. You had a question?
Yeah,
Counselor.
the rental of the porta potties, the rental agreement, I guess, takes into account brain damage or anything like that, when they put the porta potties on the township property, who is responsible for them? They're gonna be there for a number of weeks, right?
Yeah.
So,
That would be a very good question to ask. The,
Pete.
Through the mayor, Attorney Isabel.
Hi.
Isabel,
So when I spoke to Jack briefly, he said that he would put in all the toilet paper, paper towel, anything like that's needed in the porta potty. So he would still service it every week.
Okay,
But yeah, I know what you're talking
But what
about.
if someone tips it over?
yeah, I
Or-
mean, it's gonna be there for our work, exactly, it's gonna be there for a number.
They-
If you have insurance for damages, is that what you're
Right.
asking, or is
Yeah.
that, would that be under township
Yeah, I
insurance?
think that's a good question to ask because
Mhm.
So in the rental agreement, that isn't, addressed.
established.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily know even if there is, I mean, I don't,
oh,
I mean,
you know, if there is a signed agreement where I can read what the terms and risk allocations are. I mean, that's definitely something that we will want to look into for sure.
so I guess would it be the same one as they put a porta potty at the beaches? Would it be the same?
Yeah.
Idea, right?
It would, yeah.
Okay. Just don't wanna have to, be in the township end up being responsible for.
yeah. Counselor Canio.
Can we get a cost assessment on, like, I mean, this is a ballpark, right? Walden?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been there for at least 50, 60 years. Shouldn't we be thinking of putting something permanently there? Washing facilities permanently?
We could, through the mayor, I mean, we can come back with some options.
Yeah.
You know, there are, the janitorial, we have to consider the janitorial, there are, self-cleaning washrooms. There are those options, that would be one of the options I would bring forward.
Even purchasing on the, compare cost, even purchasing our own, cause I mean, we do this every year, right? At the beaches.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just, we're looking at
Yeah.
ways of saving money and making things more efficient, that's all.
Counselor DePew?
So, I fully support and endorse this, I would just, the end of season wind up party, I would not want to sponsor that. I think if we get equipment and purchases and bathroom facilities, collecting registration for the softball should be able to pay for its own wind up party.
Yeah.
So everything else I fully support except for their wind up party, I think that should be a league decision and, not come out of this request. That's just my personal opinion.
Sorry.
Counselor Lynn?
Which reminded me, we need to replace the equipment. They don't know what kind of equipment is even available at this point. And we have the new equipment, or any equipment stored inside of the arena,
well,
not in an outside shed.
Trailer.
through the mayor, I believe, the only reason we didn't know what was available is because it's in the it's at the shed and we just, if it's full of snow, we weren't able to access it.
Right.
She needs to get more, I think she got it.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Just in time.
I know.
Shed outside the ball field,
Right.
so
Oh,
too much snow to get to it right now.
right,
Okay.
right by.
That's where it is,
Okay.
okay.
I
Yeah.
thought it was something.
And then, like, even if we get updated,
Mhm.
more equipment, people might wanna use better equipment, it always has redundancies if stuff goes. But yeah, definitely to answer your question, if maybe we need to weatherize some of this, like leather potentially, and we
Exactly.
bring that, we could.
The wood craft. Whatever. So it can't be moved into the inventory in the arena then?
I don't see why it couldn't.
I think that would be the best
We would just have to find a location where to store it
over the winter.
over, yeah.
Yeah.
Storage is becoming scarce at the arena.
Counselor Canio?
So this trailer that we spent 25,000, 30,000 bucks on there, but for the youth
For the
there,
youth?
isn't that part of this, to store our equipment?
No.
No, that's for their
For their-
equipment, so their youth club has their own sort of,
I thought everybody's gonna have access to that.
No.
Just the youth club?
Hmm.
Sure.
Okay,
That's just, over here.
everyone in favor of that?
Sorry.
But changing the, can we add that to the end of it? That,
I don't want to support.
We don't want
wind up party.
no,
their, yeah,
I don't know if we need that in the
I would just say scratch it off the resolution.
It's not in the resolution.
It's not there?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
It's
not
in the
really-
options.
That council endorses reestablishing minor baseball as a community recreation initiative and approves funding in the amount of approximately $3,000 from the Community Wellbeing Fund to support the costs associated with minor baseball. And that council approves the installation of 2 portable toilets at the baseball diamond for up to 18 weeks at a cost of $300 per week plus taxes, for a total of approximately $6,100 from the Community Wellbeing Fund.
It's a lot of money for toilets.
And in the minutes, I can note that. too.
Are we in favor of that, supporting that? Good. 8.2.9, summer student employment positions.
That council for the Township of Ignace approves the hiring of 1 marketing coordinator summer student and up to 4 landscaping and recreation assistant summer students for 2026. And that wages of $18.60 per hour and benefits be included in the 2026 budget and pulled from the NWMO Youth Community Training Funds, I have to add, and Canada Summer Jobs.
Okay, good.
We're getting,
Oh, nice.
That was
That's
great.
great.
yes, just came in.
That's great. Need a mover, please. Councilor Manero, seconder, Councilor DPO, all in favor? Carried. 8.2.10, Ignace Recreation Complex name update and signage.
Council for the Township of Ignace approved the renaming of the Ignace Recreation Complex to Ignace Community Center, and that administration be directed to implement the name change across all municipal materials, signage, and communication.
Need a mover, please? Councilor Daniel and seconder, Councilor Nash. Questions? Yes, Councilor DPO.
Given the 3 options, I do concur with option 1, but this might be an opportunity where we could pull the community to feel involved in decision making. I don't think it's, urgent that we make this decision tonight, so even a doodle poll or something where they can participate in this process.
They can give us some steps in our names too.
I. So that's just my thought.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we, first of all, how is this new signage going to be made? Does anybody know?
Through there. So currently, with the renovations coming to the Ignace Recreation Center, part of the process is that the outside is going to be redone, and with the aging sign that's in place right now, I'm seeking quotes from vendors to do some new lettering with potentially background lights and to make it a really more robust sign out there. And once I get those quotes in and renderings, I will be presenting that to council, hopefully by the May 11th meeting of council
Okay.
for your consideration. And if I, through the mayor
Mhm.
and through Councillor DeFio's recommendation to reach out to the public,
Yeah.
we could make it a short 2-week engagement to have people essentially just email me recommendations on what they would like and present that to council.
Or we can do survey monkey as well.
And if you're right, okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Councilor DPO.
Perhaps twofold, do 2 weeks of, potential name changes, given, I think the report is beautiful, like the recreation center is more than a recreation center, we use it for all community functions, and a name that incorporates that is meaningful. So, given a 2-week span of proposing name changes, and then a 1-week doodle poll based on the recommendation.
Yeah.
Like the top 10 or top 5?
3.
Top 3?
Top
Yeah.
3, yeah.
So the recommendations can be forwarded to council give you your top 3, and then the community vote on the 3.
Yeah. Good mayor.
Yeah.
Aaron, are we within timelines for that kind of an option?
Through the mayor, right now, we could just, so the drawings say that we are to supply the sign. So if there is a delay, what we could do is just instruct because there's not really a cost associated other than the install. We could have a change order to retract money back from them installing it. And then have at maybe even next year, if this process takes longer, we could have.
No, I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be one of the last things. And it might have to even be next year, depending on the timing. It's gonna probably be getting close to November when things start wrapping up, and I don't know
Right.
if it might be appropriate.
If we consider lighting, which would be a really good idea, we have to incorporate that, make sure there's electrical run.
Already in
Right.
front of you. So, we anticipated that this would be an option.
Okay.
So we are putting a light socket, suitable to power, something like that. In the event, even if council were to choose because of costing, that it's not suitable at this time. That option would still be available at a future date if council then chose to update the sign with backlighting.
One more thing. Are we gonna have the equipment, available to change light bulbs, to do maintenance on it, that kind of thing?
So, and this is part of the discussions that we could have with council, like, are you talking about the outside lights or the inside lights?
No, outside.
So,
To illuminate the new sign.
so it would actually be backlit, so the back of the sign would be shining towards the building.
Okay.
So, and it would be LED, so you would expect it would last 10+ years,
Okay.
depending on the usage too, so it could last maybe 15.
Okay.
And, what we can do is, rather than having the lighting across all each, individual character, you have it as each individual character, rather than the whole word. That way, if one burns out, then we could just replace that one character, or just have that character removed and then have that lighting replaced. So we're figuring out all the.
You
These
have
are,
the equipment for someone to.
we have
for the
a lift.
Okay.
We have 2 lifts actually. We'll be
Okay.
able to do that.
Okay,
Table?
so we're tabling that then?
Or do we
I think
say?
you can-
I don't think we wanna table it,
No,
I
just
honestly
do
say
it.
to start it as soon as possible for that main thing.
I think,
But the motion that's on the table right now is that council, approves the renaming, to
Right.
Ignace Community Center. So,
Oh.
that's,
so we can approve it to that, and then as an, add-on, say how.
No, I don't think so.
it's just,
Okay, cause we could have no.
Or
interest in
withdraw.
this at all.
We can withdraw it and then you provide
I think
account,
so, yeah.
provide
We'll come back.
administration correction.
Okay. Okay. Council's in favor of that, withdraw? Thank you, Carrie.
it's okay.
8.2.11 property tax write-off of 3 properties.
That council for the township of Ignace approves the write-off of $48,981.13 in municipal property taxes accrued after July 31st, 2025 for 405 Pine Street, roll number 600100000145505, 308 to 314 Main Street, roll number 6001000118726, and 940 Humphrey Road, roll number 600100000147002, the 3 properties transferred back to the township of Ignace. And that this write-off includes the value of the $22,300 adjustment, $350 adjustment for the township to exercise the options to purchase back the 3 properties. And that council recognizes the combined amount of taxes remaining for the 3 properties as $80,820.70 after deduction of the purchase price paid by the township on exercise of the options in relation to those lands as per court order CB-25 0000211-00000, and that council accepts the adjusted property tax amounts owing for the properties as at July 31st, 2025 as 405 Pine Street equals $52,407.50. 308 to 314 Main Street equals $9,474.01. 940 Humphrey Road equals $41,289.19. And further, that council will take these amounts into consideration when evaluating offers to sell the properties in the future, and that additional write-offs may be required if the properties are sold for less than the amounts owing.
Need a mover, please? Counselor Dickey, seconder, Counselor Manier, question?
Yeah, what is 308 to 314?
Through, 308 to 314 Main Street is the old grocery store that we discussed at the last meeting.
Thank you.
405 Pine Street is the apartment building, and 940 Humphrey Road is the old, bumper to bumper.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I got a question.
Yes, Counselor.
So the taxpayers, Ignace just picked up $100,000 because we're at $100,000, right?
My apologies.
Was it, the taxpayers just picked up that? Like,
We're
everybody's
short that now.
We're short that,
because-
right? So,
Yeah.
Through the mayor, yeah, so these are outstanding taxes from,
which hurts our budget in the long run, the rest of the year. So my question is, have we exhausted everything that we could? Can we take these people to small claims court and try to get some of our money?
Still ongoing with the other,
we're still.
we're all lumped together.
Yeah, so. Yeah, this might be more appropriate for a closed
Yeah.
setting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Any other questions? Counselor DPO.
Given the reluctance to answer that question, and perhaps we should have this in closed meeting, because I want to know, have we done everything? Is there anything more we can do
Get the money back.
to get the money back?
If I can just add, just aside from getting the money back, this is the value of the properties from the public, court order. That's what the judge says is remains owing. It's not, it's,
It's not an amount that they,
there's still $80,000 in taxes owing on those properties.
So they owe the township $80,000 in taxes.
Yeah.
And why are we writing it off?
Yeah.
So we're writing off the money, the taxes that were added on after July 31st, well, the issue was already before the courts.
Why would we do that?
To get it on the,
Because it was already in the process being transferred back to the township. It was essentially like frozen while it was being deliberated.
Through the mayor, my
Yeah.
understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, Leslie, too, is because. Let's say, maybe it's, there was an agreement for a set of the money for those things, so. Because we exercised those options. There would have been another transfer in the reverse back. Right, however. That was not occurred because of the back taxes, so we ended up getting that property back essentially for nothing. Right, but then they just write down the remaining amount.
We would
That's,
have got the property back for nothing after they didn't pay the taxes anyways. We took the property, we were the property, right? And it doesn't really matter, just, as long as we go through the proper procedure to make sure that we do everything.
Yeah.
We could, you've got to take it to small claims court to recruit that money.
yeah, so, it's just writing off the non-remaining amount, this is just equaling what is. Still owing. By the,
As of July 31st, 2025 is when what the court order date is for when they calculated how much there was remaining.
Okay, yeah.
But our systems kept accruing even past that date. But
Sure.
the court order says that's the date.
Okay.
okay, so Councilor Green, no,
and the
Gary,
next meeting will have a closed session
Yeah,
to
okay.
explain in more
Yeah,
detail.
that may
Okay.
be better to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
8.2.12,
Is that okay?
yes. Good hearing.
Thank you.
Yep. 8.2.12, declaring 405 Pine Street as surplus property.
That council for the township of Ignace declares the multi-residential property at 405 Pine Street as surplus and directs the administration to make a professional real estate appraisal for the property before considering offers.
Need a mover, please. Your seconder? Councilor Mayor. Question or? Pretty straightforward, yep. All in favor? Carried. 8.2.13, to confirm the old patio property on Highway 17 as surplus.
That council for the township of Ignace confirms that the abandoned patio's construction property on the north side of Highway 17 is surplus, and that council clarifies that the legal description of the property is PT LOCW 305 Description part 3, ONKR 37 PCL 22821, and that its tax roll number is 600100000143800, and that its civic address on MPAC is listed only as Highway 17E, and further that a numerical civic address is assigned to this property in the future.
I got a question here.
Okay, oh, I need a mover and seconder first, mover, Council Fabio, seconder, Council Winfield. I have a question too.
Yeah, I
Go
got,
ahead.
good, I got a question here. First of all, I think it's really disrespectful to have the old Patio
That's what I-
property
I have that
on
too.
there too. Do we have the old Etherton property there? Do we have the old Kennard property there? You know what I'm saying? Like.
That's what I was wondering, why we had.
Why would we put the old
Advertise
Patio
that.
property on there?
Because it's got a big sign on
It does?
It does,
It must be how it's listed, right?
Well, no, you're not supposed to have that when it's listed.
it, but there's no
there's no
address.
physical address?
That's the issue.
Well, those other buildings have signs on there too. I'm just, I just don't think it's right. You know what I'm saying, all right? That might have been.
Well, now, when you pass this, it can be known as the lot number.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Right? Anyways, let's not get in it. Let's just make it.
Okay, so other questions? No? Okay. All in favor? Carrie?
Councilor Taddeo and Councilor Winfield.
8.2.14, Q1 2026 Treasurer Financial Report.
That council for the Township of Ignace receives the Q1 2026 Treasurer's Financial Report as presented.
Need a mover, please. Councilor Renier, seconder. Councilor Net. Questions?
I'll let everybody else go first because I'll be a long time.
Question?
Go ahead, Councilor.
Anybody else get anything?
No?
Well, to me, this is an inaccurate,
Report.
report. We shouldn't even be getting this report. Because it's not factual, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't have, well, you say that yourself. It's not I want to see facts. I want to see, the current budget. I want to see
Yeah, it's not even complete.
yeah, so to me, it doesn't make sense even getting this report, you know what I'm saying? I think we should wait to get an accurate report. It's supposed to be from January 1st to March 31st, right? But I think it's from March 1st to March 31st?
No.
So it says,
It's year to date,
It is for the month.
year to date as of March 31st.
Yeah.
so that means 2026-03 ending March 31, is that what that means?
Yes, if you look in the year to date actual column, that's the year to date as of March 31st.
Yep.
So anyways, I don't think it's, but you know what I mean? I don't think we should get this report until we get the factions.
Right, that's the issue right now. Our system is not set up that we can easily generate it without doing it manually.
Well, then we
That's
should,
the,
I
that's the
mean,
problem.
I don't understand that.
I know.
you know what I mean? We don't have, I know what you're trying to do, but it's
Yeah.
not what we're looking for, I don't think. You know what I mean? It's my opinion. I mean, we have.
So how do we get there? Are we lacking, programming or like,
How did they do it in the past? Like, how was it done before?
Yes.
So previously, all the work was done in assist. Somewhere in the past, they decided to move part of the taxes or property taxes onto a different software for whatever reason. So half that information is somewhere else. Also, I mean, we can't really give a variance analysis without having a budget passed. So this is just really a way of just providing that where we are in terms of expenses to date. But in terms of,
But you're asking us
So in terms, I just wanted to, if I may, answer the question. I mean, you know, Leslie is overworked. We're starting to look at all our bylaws and we're pretty much gotta update them all. So, I mean, and we've mentioned this before, we might need to break the position apart and get a treasurer to be more, prudent on getting this information, readily available to council and getting a budget, in front of you.
I understand all that, and I thank you for that, but the thing is, I'm responsible for the taxpayers that elected me to this seat here, right? So how can I make a decision on increasing people's taxes, right?
I don't even know.
When I wouldn't even know it, and, I mean, you've said to us a couple of times in the last meetings that we're $2 million in a hole, we got, you know what I'm saying? We have to know the facts.
If I may respond through the mayor, so the facts right now are, this is what the financial position that we're in the staff report with general fund revenues year to date, with the cash on hand in the different accounts year to date. That's why we need to know that before or as we head into the budget, so that we do make those responsible recommendations for establishing reserves and potentially for raising taxes and service fees.
So what I'm asking is for, maybe when it's completed, we can get a look at it, right?
This is not the budget.
I understand,
This is just
it's your
the
quarter,
expenses.
it's your quarter one report.
Yeah, it's the expenses in the first 3 months.
Yeah, and this, finding if it's council's recommendation to provide quarterly reports, this sort of scenario might be found every year because might not have a budget available at this time every year. So we would have to find a compromise on providing these expenses during the.
So my question or recommendation is, can we change the conclusion? So the recommendation to receive the treasurer's report as presented and give a explanation of why it's presented this way.
Well, we can't make. Sorry. We can't make informed decisions on, we don't know where we actually are, right? We have to know exactly what's going on. I think we should just wait till it's done properly and then move forward from there.
But when is it gonna be done properly?
I don't know.
Not from the end of the year.
Not until we have a budget.
Yeah. So I say that we should accept this, but for future, anybody that's questioning this is to, clarify why it is as presented. So we don't have time, we don't have to, wreck program, that kind of stuff.
Counselor DeFeo.
We are spending money, based on, I believe, last year's budget. There's no reason why we can't have a variance report based on last year's budget.
Yeah, I don't
So
understand.
if we're allowed this amount of spending based on last year's budget, then a variance report can be put in based on last year's budget. And then in the Cliff's note stated, no budget passed for 2026, this is based on 2025 budget.
That's
It
right.
would make it clear, understandable, and a better acknowledgement of what the ratepayers have been asking us for about the financials.
Yeah.
So our variance, that's what I was asking for, a variance report every month. This way here, we know where we are. Here's what we spent, here's where we're sitting, here's what we overspent here, so we gotta watch ourselves
Yeah.
next month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way it was done in the past,
Yeah, I know.
right?
I know.
And
So-
that's what we're trying to get set up with the new system, because right now, Assist doesn't handle everything. That's the challenge right now. If we want it, we have to do it manually.
Well, I can't support this because I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I can't do it, I just can't. So we're thinking about it.
What does the rest of council wanna do? Do they want it to? Yes, Councilor Mayor.
I just have a question. This report that we have here is quarterly report. This is the result of, questions for a quarterly report. Last couple of meetings ago, or not, right, or it's just one of these self-generated ones that's gonna come up every 3 months. Did we ask for this report? That's why, I guess I should say, did we ask for this report? Or did we suggest to the administration that we need a quarterly report?
We discussed it
We-
last year.
Yeah, well,
We did
talked about
discuss it, yeah.
All right, and this is the best we can get right now. Because of the lack of, whether it's,
Programming.
programming or, because there's not a approved budget. So this is the best we got right now, right?
So do we, I have a question, you know,
I
where,
won't comment, I think it could be done differently.
yeah,
I got a comment.
that's what I'm thinking. Our, 40% that we can, from last year's budget,
Again,
do we know when we're overspent on something for that?
again, like, that would have to be manually inputted because
I can't believe it.
like, we're sort of limited, the software only allows certain things, right? So if we were to have 40% of last year's budget, then we'd have to manually put in line by line what 40% of each line item was for last year. That is an exercise. I mean, again, it can be done, but it's, you know, it's gonna come at the expense of
Everything else.
everything else that's going on.
And that's why I was gonna say, why don't we have the proper program to do this?
That's what we're trying to transition to.
Okay.
It's such a long process. Oh, I had a thought in that.
Anyways,
Can you, come up with the approximate amount of time that this would take? Including the variances from 2025. So, what I'm asking is, can we have this back by next month? Is that possible?
Well, yeah, because I'll have to go through it in order to draft the budget.
Yeah. So maybe we defer it.
Well, the way that the motion is worded right now, it's just to approve it. Want to approve it, it's just to receive it.
Yeah.
It's on record.
Counselor Tanya, you had another question, you're thinking,
no, I'm not thinking, I just can't believe that we can't let anything say.
yeah,
Is this normal to get a quarterly report? Of course it's normal to get a quarterly report. That's part of doing business, right?
My question was, was this report was generated as a result of us talking about it?
Well, no, but it shouldn't.
I know,
it should be coming to us anyways, but we had talked about,
that.
yes, we had talked about that.
This is the first, I think this is the first quarterly report we've got since I've been on that.
That's,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
That's why I asked about it was being,
Yeah.
why it was generated.
okay. Council? What do we wanna do, accept it?
That
Should-
council receives the
Yeah, receive.
Q1 2026 treasurer's financial report as presented.
Council in favor of that?
I'll take a recorded vote on it, I can't support that.
Counselor DPO,
No.
Counselor Lett,
No.
Counselor Lanier.
Yeah.
Counselor Tadio.
No.
And me, no. Eight point two point 15, notice motion from March 9th meeting. Budget variance reports and approval.
That the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace does hereby direct the treasurer to bring forward a budget variance report monthly and bring accounts payable expenses to council to be approved and ratified by way resolution.
Mover, please.
That was Counselor Tadio.
Okay, yeah. And seconder, please. Counselor Lett. Questions? No,
I'm gonna go.
yours, yeah.
Well, that's exactly why I brought this forward, is because we don't get quarterly reports, right? I've been on council now, I think this is my fourth term. So every council that I've been on, every council meeting, we had an adjustment here, they're on the table, expenditures, right? We had monthly reports, this is what we're spent, this is where we're overspent, where we're not overspent. I read your report, and I totally disagree with it. Not all of it, some of it, respectfully. There's a couple of things there like. And I know you're busy, and I know this place was a total zoo before, we're trying to get the books in order. We're behind, our books are not caught up for years, right? We're trying to get it together, right? We're trying to get it there. But you guys also want us to make decisions on increasing people's taxes, right? We have to know, we gotta know, because the ratepayers are the ones we answer to, right? You know what I mean? Staff, when you said staff time spending preparing additional reports, well, that's their job. Is if council recommends some for additional reports, we should be able to get that. Okay, this is just fine. You says you're paid bills on time and ratified, we can pay the bills, right? We can ratify them later as long. You can pay the bills, but we still, as council, has a responsibility to know what's going on here, what's getting paid. I got the floor here, you can have it after me, okay? And when it comes to, so it's transparent, so we're transparent to the general public, right? You know what I mean? And then you said that, you're worried about IMPA complaints, right? Well, that stuff there, we can bring into a closed, we can bring that into closed session and ratify the totals in an open session, right? We don't have to bring the people's names, but we can ratify it, the total amount in an open session, right? And same when it comes to FTA counts. I just asked for what are our FTA counts for the month? Like, where are we overspent? Like, so this way here, we don't get surprised at the end of the year and say that, you know what? The public works foreman made the sunshine list and people ask, well, we gotta know that kind of stuff. That's all I'm asking for. And that's the way it was done before. We had no problem doing it. So what did we do then that we're not doing now? Like, you know what I mean? Is there something that we're not doing?
And
you know what, when it comes to the bylaws, I read the bylaw, that you said you're just following the bylaw. Yeah, well, you know what? The bylaws were changed in 2021. If you look through prior to that, the bylaws were changed. You know what I mean? They were changed to suit what you guys wanted now, right? They can get changed again, right? True? That's all I'm asking. You know what I'm saying there? Go ahead, Deborah.
So,
Sorry, she's supposed to say that.
Aaron, go ahead.
So, and again, my understanding is the approval of expenses was part of that motion, is that correct? So there's the municipal act is pretty clear on the division of responsibilities, what the council and what administration is to do. And that is definitely an administrative task.
I don't think that is. I think.
I could, I could bring that back, but generally, council is to set policies and approve budgets. So they set the framework from which the township works within. So if they would set, bylaws, policies, and then we work within that framework to undertake the work is essentially what the municipal act says. I can certainly bring that information back. However, it does say in the in the municipal act, that we are to provide reports, so you guys, council has the information to have the information to make those decisions. So we can definitely do that. We would also have to be making sure that we're abiding by the other laws such as Amphiba, and other than that, we can't release that information. And it really, council is a high level overview of the administration's work is to make sure that we are being accountable to the public.
That's right.
But at what granular level is council digging into the nitty gritty before they're actually performing the work that is clearly defined as a division of responsibilities in the municipal act?
So
I just want to say something. So we used to get reports from one of the employees in the office of the check registries and all that. We don't even get that anymore. We haven't got that now for a while.
Years.
No, we were getting them all the time.
By email.
Yes, we
Yeah,
were.
that we brought that back. We brought that back.
But all of a sudden
Finance
it
meeting,
stopped.
And it stopped.
Yes, that's right.
So, because we had a delegation bylaw, right, that says that that's an administrative task, right?
You know,
Like, what if I'm struggling to see the need of what you need to see there that's on the granular level. I mean, if you certainly don't trust my administration, then we have a bigger issue.
It's not about that.
Well,
it's about accountability,
Yes, that's right.
it's about accountability and transparency, that's all it's about.
well, there's laws in place that prevent that transparency being totally
Well, then I
transparent.
guess there's a lot of municipalities that are breaking that law, then we'll have to look into that. I think you're wrong, maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure.
Counselor,
Is there an opportunity to, contract this out,
Contract,
these reports that we're looking for? Can we give this to an accounting, and are we gonna get someone in place, more employees? Can we give this to an accounting firm?
well, I would say it's probably a lot cheaper to get a full-time treasurer that's CPA and dedicated to just doing this. Would be a lot cheaper than to have an accounting firm doing it.
And that's being
Explored.
explored.
Through the mayor, we've had some internal discussions about workload
Mhm.
internally. So this has been something, and you probably, I don't know if you can recall that we've discussed this in other reports of some of the other needs that the township needs.
Yeah.
But again, the funding, these positions is always, like, the need is there, but how do we
Mhm.
get the funding for these positions is the challenging.
So we're on the house video.
Leslie, you had something else?
Yes, if I may add through the mayor, the way that it's written now, I would recommend that if council wants to consider it, that it be worded that council directs the treasurer to bring forward a budget variance report quarterly rather than monthly, because the way it is right now, it's all
Yeah.
annual until we get the systems up and running.
Yeah.
And again, if the accounts are paid, council has set the budgets for the overall
Right.
corporation.
Right, so
Those purchases are paid already. Are you going to not ratify them afterwards?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
and that's my point exactly. So a council, maybe not this one, but previously, passed a procurement bylaw. Right, and that procurement bylaw sets the framework from which,
And look at the mess they got into, it.
sorry,
Look at the mess that they got into in previous.
Counselor, do you feel?
I think, let's say like the wording on that, and I think it will go a long way.
Yeah, I think so.
Like at least seeing one variance report go a long way. We know you are putting in hard work. There is no criticism on that
Well,
with my words or requests, so please don't take it that way. But the variance report, is meaningful, even if we're not using a 2026 budget, comparing it to 2025. And seeing one quarterly would go a long way to alleviate some of that angst and burden that the community feels of not knowing what's going on.
Any other questions? Or we'll call the vote.
Do you want to reword it then? Is that the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace says hereby direct the treasurer to bring forward a budget variance report quarterly?
Yes.
I would support that.
Mhm.
I can look at that too.
And is there a period at the end of that? Or are we keeping in and bring account payable expenses to council to be approved and ratified by way of resolution?
I don't think we want,
No,
I don't think we have to
wanna-
approve it, I think
No.
we should have the right to look at it. Just,
I think if you can go in the office and do
Yeah.
that from it.
well, whatever, that's fine.
You can, yeah.
That's fine,
Scratch that
that's
off
fine.
the record.
Yeah.
You sign,
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Do you sign the checks when they go up? Do you sign it? Who signs it?
The treasurer and the deputy treasurer or the clerk are the signing authorities?
Oh, isn't there supposed to be a member of the council there? No, sir, no,
not according to the current bylaws.
wow.
Okay. All in favor of that?
Can you read that?
That the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace does hereby direct the treasurer to bring forward a budget variance report quarterly.
All in favor? Carried. 8.2.16, prudent investor standards for municipal investments.
That council for the township of Ignace receives the report Prudent Investor Standards in Municipal Investments, Analysis and Options, and directs staff to review prudent investor and legal list options, including the one joint investment board, and report to council with the preferred option and timelines.
Oh, get a mover and seconder first. Dr. DPO move. Second. Counselor Linear. Questions? Counselor Cunningham.
I think it's a great idea, but here's my problem. Isn't that supposed to be a resolution of council to, like, ensure them, like, the council as a whole is supposed to decide that? Right? Like, I mean, it's $10 million that we can be spending into the community to enhance the community, right?
If I may speak to this, so this is just presenting council with options. Under the municipal act, any municipal council is very limited in what you can invest in. You can't just go and buy stocks in a company because it's too risky. You can invest in bonds and GICs, safe investments under the legal list is what it's called, or you can establish your own investment board, but we don't have enough funds to qualify to do that. So we have the option to join the only existing joint investment board in Ontario is the one joint investment board. So it operates kind of like a mutual fund. So it's just, this is just giving council the information, not joining it, not anything, because it's just so that council knows this as we approach the budget and look at what we're doing with the funds that were in the treasurer's report there, looking long-term. What could it grow into to fund future infrastructure costs? What's the most responsible thing to do with that money? Do we use it now? Do we set it aside and let it start growing? It's just providing options and information at this point.
Okay, so and I'm glad to hear that. And what I'm trying to get at is, we got a subdivision that we're gonna be building here, right? Are we gonna be, we gotta know, I don't think the taxpayers should be picking up the tab for that.
Right.
That's what that $10 million is for to help us pay for the new subdivision infrastructure that's coming on to this community. So
We shouldn't be putting it.
if we put it into
Yeah.
a GIC or whatever you wanna put it into, right? Are we gonna be able
Need
to
that.
withdraw from that right away?
Well, this is not to put it away. This is just information about what investment options are.
Okay.
We did, since this report,
But it says that you're gonna be meet with,
yeah, well, I met with CIBC Wood Gundy as well since then to see the options and what their rates of return are and what there is under the legal list. And also they're going to send some information to with some of the municipalities that they work with and why those municipalities opted not to join the joint investment board and decided to leave it in the legal list because it is easier to access those funds on shorter terms through the legal list, but they don't have as high return rates of return.
And that'll come back to us anyways.
It'll all come back to council.
Okay.
And if council would like, both the one, joint investment board representatives and or CIBC would then, representatives can appear at the next council meeting. They both made an offer.
I believe if you were to go with the prudent, I think you actually need a bylaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need an investment
Yeah.
bylaw for. everyone.
So, and just to reiterate, we already have GICs where it ended up we're rolling over year, collecting the minimum amount.
Yeah.
So this is just to make a longer term strategy on what council wants to do with what we have and what money we're collecting, through the agreement, right? So.
Can they be rolled over into this, if we do agree to this, can they be rolled over?
Yes, the current, GICs, we can pull at any time and put them into something else if we,
Okay.
when council decides what they want to do.
Okay. Okay, so we got mover and seconder?
Yeah.
All in favor of that? Carried. 8.2.17, 2025 asset management plan. Need a mover, please.
That council for the Township of Ignace approves the 2025 asset management plan as required under section 6 of OReg 28817, and that the 2025 asset management plan be posted to the township website as noted under section 10 of the regulation, and that council acknowledges that the 2025 asset management plan recommends increasing tax revenues by 2.5% each year for the next 20 years, and increasing rate revenues by 3.3% for water services and 3.1% for wastewater services each year for the next 20 years, but does not take into account funding from the NWMO hosting agreement or provincial or federal grant programs.
Do we get a mover on that? Councilor DPO, second Councilor Lett. Okay, so I'm gonna start, I'm gonna start. So this is a thought I had. You know, when you're talking about water and wastewater rates, I think we should take that money out of the community well-being fund for the community. Oh, well, I tried.
Under the guidelines, yeah.
Councilor DPO.
The asset management plan is tied directly to our infrastructure. The $10 million we just got is tied directly to our infrastructure.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is how we're using that $10 million investment to go with the asset management plan to give a zero sum increase to the municipality.
Mhm.
There's no reason why these two things cannot be connected together.
You want to speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, and that will be council's decision to make, right? So it should be noted though that, like, let's just use the $10 million that we're getting tied to infrastructure. That money can only be used once, right? It can only be invested. It can be used to upgrade our infrastructure, or it can be used for whatever. A third of it goes to each one of these things. Right, so council's gonna have to make a decision on which projects they wanna undertake, which infrastructure they wanna improve on, and how much and what portion of what money is gonna go into long-term investments to cover costs in the future.
Do we not have a special meeting of council for educational purposes to really digest this? This is 151 pages of information. That was just put on the end of the agenda. I think we deserve to have more understanding of this.
Through the mayor. So if you're like, it's just receiving the report that it's done. There's no decision to actually increase taxes by the recommended.
Right.
Mind you, the recommended is only to cover what is it?
That's capital cost too, though, remember that.
Capital costs. Yeah. So this doesn't include inflation too, right? So again, it's a concern. Just to alleviate too on the capital costs, we were just having this discussion this morning. Part of our reports that we work with NWO or NW did on behalf of Ignace to as part of their baseline studies was our wastewater treatment plant needs a severe upgrade. It's at the end of its useful life. Where part of the work that we're doing in the coming years is to not only make some of the upgrades to do environmental and safety upgrades that have been required for the last couple of years, but also that report is going to identify on how to move forward on replacing every component at our wastewater treatment plant. I'm estimating, potentially $20 million of today's dollars. In that alone, right? So, there's some, in the coming years, there's some big decisions that need to be made about, how to utilize, the resources that we do have. And what needs to be done in order to make good long-term investments.
Question? Yeah.
Okay, here's what I don't understand. Every time we need money, we gotta go to the tax. Let's go to tax for 2.5, 2.3. You know, like you said, this is capital cost. This is gonna be just capital cost. That's not, we're not talking about operating here. We're just talking for 2.5% every year for the next 20 years, just for capital costs. Right? That's without operating. That could be another 3%, 4%, or tax could be going up 5, 10% a year. Who knows, right? What I don't hear from this council, ever hear from this council, is how do we cut cost? How do we cut cost? Shouldn't we be looking at cutting cost? What can we do to make this community run more efficient, right? Just let me hear me out here, like, you know, like this water treatment plant, can we run it ourselves? Can we, you know what I'm saying? We gotta look at both sides of the story here before we always go after the taxpayer.
So through the mayor, I mean, this is not just Ignace that has to increase taxes year over year. I mean,
Yeah.
I know, speaking with friends in Saskatchewan, I think their budgets have actually gone up north of 10% in just 1 year. So this is the living in the reality that we find ourselves, especially given, you know, blockades on, you know, Straits of Hormuz, right? So we're gonna see the impacts of that in the next couple of months. Now, in terms of making cuts to, I mean, sure, we can make efficiency cuts, but we're talking tens of thousands of dollars in efficiency costs when we're really looking on millions of dollars of costs or revenues that we need to. So, I mean, we're talking, but like, yeah, we can make efficiency costs, but we're really not, we're splitting hairs when it comes to actually having to make some of the decisions that we need to make in the future, is what I'm getting at. And unfortunately, the township's in the business of taxing people to generate revenues to provide services. So the only real things that the township could cut that would make any dramatic amount would be mothballing the arena. And that would save $800,000 a year. I mean, that's still what we need to save, another $1.8 million. If my estimates are right, considering all this. I mean, like, where are we gonna, you know, we're gonna get rid of water too? We're gonna get rid of wastewater, not pave our roads. I mean, and then we're talking about a community that nobody wants to live in. Right, because-
It was paying $18.
Well, I mean,
Counselor Defield.
So I think this kind of gives a foolish conversation and speculation, isn't warranted, if we're receiving this information, so perhaps we could just move on receiving it and.
Yeah, that's a lot to digest. It's 2 inches thick.
Yeah. Okay. So that's, it's.
yeah.
Approving it, posting it online and acknowledging the recommendation.
I don't want it to be long.
Sorry, approving the recommendation?
No, approving the asset management plan as required under, OREG
They're waiting for it
288-17.
to.
And posting it on the website as required under section 10 of the regulation, and then just acknowledging the recommendations.
Okay.
Council in favor of that?
I do.
Oh, sorry. You have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I thought I just put a comment out there.
Okay, go ahead.
And even though this is just a recommendation and we have to look at it.
Yes.
I can't speak about what happened in the past, but it appears to me that we have to, this council, and we only got a couple months left, I have to sort of give some direction to the next council. And we have to look seriously at reserves and things like that and investment, because if we don't take the stand and say that we have to put X number of dollars aside towards water treatment plants or arenas or anything like that, then we fall under, I'm gonna say we fall in the same category. Also in the past. And it's like, spend the money now, don't worry about the future.
Yeah.
And I think when this hosting agreement that we approved a few months back, gives the township a little brighter future, even though we may haggle about where the money's gonna be spent and stuff like that. The money that we're reaping from the NWMO project, was, my thinking anyways, was to benefit the township in the next 25, 75 years. And council has to start planning for the future. And it means that we have to take a hard line on something. Whether it's, cutting services or cutting amenities or, I hate to say this, but the taxpayer, that this town runs on taxpayer dollars. And until we have such things as the Center of Excellence, the new OPP detachment, what's the other third building that's coming up? There's another building. Senior center. Those tax dollars will obviously go towards the benefit of the taxpayers in the future. So we've been struggling. This council's been struggling because of budgets and stuff like that. But I think if there's a light, the light is dim, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And we have to make sure that the future council in November, whoever that may be, is in a better position than we were, when I came on this council. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you.
I also wanna say that, we also get, how many millions every year for the next 70-something years?
Well, it depends, sorry, through the mayor, it depends on how far in the future. It's about 180 million for the next 90.
No, but how many millions every year?
It offsets. So this year we're getting,
6.8.
yeah, $6.8 million.
Next year, too,
And
there's
then, yeah, so, and
Mhm.
I mean, I'm only talking, this is where we need to be. I realize that there's probably 10,000 steps in between there. And but
Okay,
we should be looking on where we need to go.
all in favor of that? Carried. No. Bylaws for consideration, questions from the public. One question. Nelson, if you would like to,
Can't do one question, you're really bad.
well, we have to have one question.
I'll make comments.
No, you can't make comments,
You're
No.
not listening, yeah.
just a question.
I wanted to provide you some information. Can't do with one question. Be quietly, you decide. I can be helpful on a number of these subjects. You don't want to listen? Your fault. Tell me.
What does council want?
I say stick with the one question.
One question?
If you want to provide other information, then send it to us.
Nope,
You wanna meet with council?
nope. Have a good day. Good night.
Thank you.
You're right, John. Also.
Okay. No closed, confirmation.
Somebody online?
Anyone online? Okay. Confirmatory bylaw.
That bylaw 13.2026 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of this corporation of the township of Ignace and its regular meeting of council dated April 15, 2026. Be read a first, second, third time and finally passed.
Need a mover, please? Counselor, Lanier and seconder Counselor Dezio. All in favor? Carried. Adjournment.
That the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace adjourn this regular meeting of council this 13th day of April 2026 at 7:43 p.m.
Need a mover, please? Counselor Tadio? Seconder Counselor Gillette. All in favor? Adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, everyone online. Thank you.
Myself.